Hello everybody and welcome to the Pinnacle tier of F1 tier subs season number 12, and we are here at the Canadian Grand Prix for round 7 of this season. My name is Kieran McGinley and joining me in the commentary box is two-time champion John Worth. Jono, how are you tonight?
I'm good, thanks Kieran, and really excited to be here at one of the best circuits for league racing I think anywhere on the F1 calendar.
Absolutely, and I'm happy to be back too. I've been away for 2 races, and Jono, everything's on its head now. What exactly has happened since I've been gone? What have you done?
Yeah, absolutely, things have turned on their head. When you left, obviously Reflow was looking pretty rock solid, wasn't he? But since then, a DNF at Spain and just a single point at Monaco last time out of turned the tables, and Sam is now our current championship leader by 37 points. So yeah, big swings, and of course Don Cool has come in as well and took a dominant victory last time out.
Yeah, absolutely. More about Don Cool then. You were saying to me before we started the stream, Jono, 1 podium, 1 win. It looks like he's trying to make his mark in this league. 2 races in. How has he impressed you so far?
Well, he's been absolutely just really impressive, especially at Monaco. I think he lapped everybody up to 2nd place. We know how tricky a circuit Monaco is, and to do that in his 2nd race out. And at Spain as well, I commented at the time during the race that his driving standards were really good. He was battling with other drivers. He was driving sensibly, leaving space. So it looks at the moment, hopefully I don't curse him now today, but it looks like he's got everything needed to really push the other drivers in every race. And I'm pretty sure that Reflow and Sam, our current top 2, will be a little bit frightened at the moment of what the McLaren driver can do.
Absolutely, he's got his intentions straight away, what he wants to do, but Samster, as you say, leading the championship so far. He is leading the way by quite some distance, 37 points from Reflow at the top there. If we go through the top 10, White Fountain as well, got 2nd place last time out. Monaco, good result for him. He's 3rd in the table. We've got Matt FNG in 4th, Hesky Time 5th, Don Cool there in 6th, Pepsi Gamer in 7th, Farthbert 8th, TK in 9th and Scorpion in 10th. Our premium members, we've got Lukey in 12th, Lawrence in 13th, Go Tony 17th and Joe in 18th there on 3 points. So it's looking, Jono, as Don Cool sets a 107.8, sets the marker down. It looks like it's going to be a pretty open season, especially compared to what I saw with Reflow's pace.
Yeah, it's opened up quite a bit. There's a lot of drivers, battles all the way through the field. We've seen the midfield in this Pinnacle tier has been pretty intense all season. We've had so many battles in the midfield, and we're also spoiled at the front. And White Fountain, as you say, has joined the party, as has Hesky Time as well, who's shown great pace and was actually probably the quickest driver out in Spain until he made a small mistake. So we're spoiled for choice throughout the field, and yeah, it's pretty difficult to call this one, I think.
Well, at the moment then, Don Cool leads the way on a 107.8. Samster was P2 until Chopper had his say on a Hypersoft tyres, 109.0. Samster in 3rd, remember on those super soft tyres, the hardest possible tyre, and Samster has set a 109.4. Lukey in 4th place, as Made Showman has retired from qualifying very early on. Lukey in 4th there, Matt FNG in 5th, Cloudy Balloons in 6th, Scorpion in 7th, Jaw in 8th, TK 9th, and Hesky Time has set a 125.7, but I highly doubt that's a competitive and representative lap time.
Yeah, I doubt it very much, and as you say, Sam is in the P3 early days, but he's on a super soft tyre, so we've got a complete compound, 2 compound split at the moment between Don Cool and the 2 Ferraris. So we'll see what they're going to decide to do on tyre strategy, but early on, obviously getting their eye in on that hardest compound. Well,
we see TK there has got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Reflow. Now that jumped on board with TK. As they were in the pit lane. Johnny, did you see what happened there?
Yeah, I did. I just caught the very end of it. I just switched to Reflow. As you say, there was a bit of contact going into the pit lane. It looked all a bit messy, and penalty handed out as well.
Yeah, it's always an awkward pit lane at the Canadian Grand Prix. Obviously, when someone wants to go straight on into the pit lane, they have to brake later. But if you take the normal racing line and going into the chicane next to the Wall of Champions, you have to brake earlier. So it can really catch out those drivers, and it looks like it caught out TK there as Reflow wanted to do another lap.
Yeah, that's luckily both drivers are able to continue. So Reflow in the pits, he'll obviously plenty of time to go again, but far from ideal. And always a very, very tricky qualifying session. This, we're looking already in the 1:07, so very, very short lap time. So usually, really small margins between all the drivers. Every 10th counts, and very easy to make a mistake through these tricky chicanes, and especially that final chicane. So easy to lose all of your lap time, and just knowing how aggressive to be against that Wall of Champions, as you mentioned, is always a bit of a difficult judgment to make for the drivers.
Absolutely, as we see Pepsi Gamer go through said chicane, right up to the Wall of Champions there as he heads towards the line on a set of super soft tyres, and the McLaren driver goes P5. Now, interestingly there, Jono, you can see a lot of drivers going for the super soft tyres. Obviously, they're going for strategy rather than quick lap time overall. How is that going to affect Donkall, who set his fastest lap time on a set of hypersofts?
Yeah, I think you're definitely sat in the pits just wondering what everyone's doing and has he made the right call. If you're going against the grain, you always think, is it me? Have I done the right thing? But obviously, I think we might see some of these drivers switch at the end. If they fall down the order a bit, some will probably bail and go on to softer compounds. But most times this season, we have seen the top 10, usually on the softest compound. But obviously here, I think for strategy, perhaps it is the better way to go, to run those super soft compound tyres if they can get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Lawrence out there in the Force India, currently on a set of hyper soft tyres at the moment as he makes his way down this long straight. You're on the throttle here for around about, I believe it's 15 seconds of the lap here. Just in that straight, you're on the throttle there, but Lawrence taking that chicane there, slightly tapping the wall there as he heads towards the line, takes the qualifying line all the way to the line there and goes P2, 108.6, but still that is 8/10 off of Donkall's best lap time so far.
Yeah, and Donkall set that lap time really early on as well, didn't he? I think he's the first driver to set a time, so he's put that marker down really early on. And he's still in the pits then at the moment, so he's looking strong at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. We'll see how that progresses then. Obviously, we've got 10 minutes left of the session, so you could easily see 3, maybe 4 runs from each driver. They've got the tyres to do it, but obviously they have a limited amount of hypersoft tyres. I believe it's 3 sets, could even be 2 sets, depending on what tyre strategy they're going for, whether they're going aggressive at Canada, balanced, or maybe conservative with the tyre choices. If you had to choose though, Jono, would you take more hypersoft tyres or maybe one more set of super softs?
Oh, it's tricky. I think at this circuit the hypersoft is pretty fragile, I think, so I'd probably personally always go for the, get that extra set of hardest compound tyres in the bank. Just that they come in more likely to come in useful during the race. But other drivers think differently, and if you can make the hypersoft last, obviously they're confident with the tyre temperatures, then perhaps you can use that to advantage at some point and exploit that pace advantage they give you for the short couple of laps that they're in good tow.
White Fountain there, setting a 110.1, puts him just inside the top 10 on a set of super soft tyres. We've also got CSS here, who has yet to score a point this season. Reflow there, as you were saying, finished 10th in Monaco last time out. He'll be looking to try and fix that and try and get some bit of form back his way. As he crosses the line, it's a 108.5, but that could have been an outlap. I'm not entirely sure, because if it was a flying lap, that lap next to his hypersoft tyres would have gone up to 1, signalling that he's already been on a lap. But well, actually he set the ERS mode down to 0, so that could have been a lap, Jono, that was invalidated. Yeah,
maybe so. And time is ticking down. 8 minutes remaining. We've still got, 5 or 4 drivers who are still in the session yet to set a lap time. And one of those is Farf, who we spoke to in the Late Night Talk Show. We mentioned his qualifying woes, and currently still sat there in P18 at the moment. So Farf will be looking to surely try and pull something out of the bag in the second half of the session.
Absolutely, but he's got to might make his way back to the pits. We don't quite know just yet. Jaw there, P11, 110.3. Again on a set of super soft tyres. He set that lap time. Currently on a set of hyper softs, but he came into the pits there, so no worries for him then. Cloudy Balloons there, 109.5. He set that on a set of ultra soft tyres. He almost lost the back end there. Kept it under control just about there. Oh, it's Chopper's out. Chopper's big time into the wall. I just switched onto him there, and that looks like he lost the back end coming out of turn 7, I believe that is. And yeah, Chopper's day in qualifying is done, so he'll be finishing no higher than P3 at least.
Yeah, and lucky for him, just caught the end of that as well, and yeah, left him, you know, that's a real shame. Glad he was looking pretty good there, but yeah, so easy here, wall line circuit, easy to mess it up.
Absolutely, fine margins. The walls are closer than you think here at the Canadian Grand Prix, and Samsa's just going through the instant zone now. It's so easy, especially on that right-hand side curb, to lose the back end, put too much into the rear tyres, and just spin them up, lose control. But here at the Canadian Grand Prix, you've got to attack the curves. So you're really caught between a rock and a hard place. You've got to push the car as hard as it can, but those walls are very close to the edge of the track.
Yeah, they are, and as we mentioned before, with such a short lap time, you can't afford to not give it everything. You've got to attack every curb and every bit of the circuit to exploit the lap time, but then with that does come plenty of danger, and yeah, it's playing many a driver, so yeah, always a difficult balancing act, and as I say that, I'm on board with Sam, who touches the World Champions, but it's able to continue.
Yeah, fine margins here. I just wonder, Jono, are we going to see anyone take a trip to the Wall of Champions?
I wouldn't be surprised if you catch it right as well as Sam did. If you catch it side on, you can get away with it damage free, but if you catch it obviously a bit too much of an angle, then you can lose your front wing or even a wheel. So you don't want to be running it right out to the wall, but not in the race anyway. In qualifying perhaps we've got to, but in the race I try and leave a little bit of margin if you can.
Absolutely. The Canadian Grand Prix, obviously first Grand Prix in 1978, and named after the legendary driver Gilles Villeneuve, famed for his attacking prowess and ability to take a car where it shouldn't belong, especially that Ferrari in the late 1970s. A fantastic driver and a fantastic circuit to name after him. Montreal is going to treat us today. 2 DRS zones. We've got Matt FNG coming through the first one, now coming into the second DRS zone as he makes his way towards the line on a set of ultra soft tyres. Only one detection point though, as Matt puts himself up into P2 there with a 108.510. So he's now in second place on a set of ultra soft tyres. Interestingly, Jono, the DRS detection point is, well, it's just on the exit of turn 9 as you head towards the hairpin of turn 10. So if you make a move up the inside going into turn 10, you can actually get ahead and pull further away with the DRS.
Yeah, you can. You can exploit it pretty well. If, as you say, if you make the move into the hairpin, you then get DRS all the way down to the turn 13 chicane, and then you get it again down to turn 1, so you can really cement the position, and it is definitely worth a go into that hairpin. We've seen many drivers have a go at it in the past, but of course that exit is crucial, and it's quite easy to tap the wall on the exit of that hairpin as well if you get it a bit wrong.
Riding on board with Heskey time then as he looks to attack the hairpin as much as he can on the exit here. Coming through the left-hander of turn 11, then through the right-hander of turn 12. Now, there's 2 lines here as you come down that straight. It's the second line is the DRS activation point, but it looks like Heskey hasn't got the DRS open, and that's why, because he's coming straight into the pits.
Yeah, so into the pits then, he's bailed out of that one, and yeah, 3 minutes 40 of the session to go, and Heskey in 14th, so he'll be definitely looking to move forward from there on this final run.
Reflow, Matt Your Daddy and Farth have still not set lap times just yet, and Heskey time has not improved on his banker lap of 125.7 at the moment, so he's still in the pits. Obviously you can leave it very late here at the Canadian Grand Prix, especially in qualifying, because as you said, Jono, it's such a short track. We're going to ride on board with Reflow here as he looks to try and get back onto some sort of form. He heads towards the line, and this is his flying lap then as we head towards turns 1 and 2. You've got to be nice and tight into turn 2. Sacrifice the exit of turn 1 so you get the entry for turn 2 that you need. Now coming up the hill as we head towards turn 3, braking zone, and then downhill. Always easy to unbalance the car there as we head now through this right-hander of turn 5. Keep the throttle in there, full throttle as you head now into the braking zone, turn 6 and turn 7. Watch out for the curves there, and watch out for the oversteer as you head through turn 7. Very easy to spin up the rear tyres and lose the back end completely. Here we go then, coming towards turn 8 then, braking, turning right, then left. Again, trying to keep a hold of the back end there. It will want to step out, but you've got to keep good control of it as we'll pass the detection point already, braking for the hairpin just before the 75 metre mark, if you can call it that, as we head now into turn 11, then to the right hander of turn 12 coming up then. We've got the DRS zone not at this line, at this line, as we head now down this long straight that goes up and then down as we head now towards the final chicane of turns 13 and 14. Chuck the car in and hope it sticks, and hope that you don't go into the barrier. Keep to the right hand side on your quali lap. It's the shortest run to the line, and Reflow puts it up into P5, and that's better than he had a minute and 10 seconds ago, Jono.
Yeah, it is, and it's good to watch him for the entire lap there. And obviously P5 moved him up the grid a fair bit, but he's still 2/10 off Matt in the Ferrari on the same ultra soft tyre, so certainly looks really neat and tidy from what we saw, but perhaps just didn't quite hang it all out there, a bit like Matt did. And of course it's difficult to do that when you haven't got a lap time on the board previously.
Farth here is looking to try and set some sort of lap time on the board, as is Matt Your Daddy. And you were saying to me earlier on about Matt Your Daddy is that he is a quick driver, but the races just haven't seemed to be on his side.
Yeah, luck just hasn't gone his way. Definitely got good pace, as you say, but just little incidents or something just keeps stepping in his way at the moment. So perhaps he can right that here today, but obviously he's got a lot of work to do with a minute remaining in the session.
Absolutely, it will only have time for one more run then. Farth as well, looking to try and score some more points for Mercedes, as Mercedes drop back from Ferrari. Second place they are at the moment, but all is not lost for them. Once we finish this race, we'll have gone a third of the way through the season, Jono, and a perfect time to reflect on who stands where. So what Farth and Reflow need to do is have a really good result here at Canada to really show it to the other teams that they are here and mean business. Here comes Farth then towards the start-finish line, and what's the lap time he can do? It's a 1:13, but again, it didn't count.
Yeah, so he's going to have to go again. This is his last chance. He's got to go again. And Farth just seems to have these qualifying crises a little bit too often for his liking, I'm sure. And Pepsi Game were there in front of him on circuit as well. A bit of a good distraction for him. So and a draw in front of him as well. Hopefully he'll not get in his way too much if he catches him. But far from ideal here for the Mercedes driver.
Oh, and that was Cloudy Balloons, who saw the yellow flag, and Pepsi Gamer was in the middle of the track. He's out the session too. And, well, I don't think Cloudy Balloons reacted in time for that one. Well, you can see he didn't react in time. They're both out of the session then. And, well, the yellow flags were out. And I'm not sure. I've been in an incident like that before, where I've ignored the yellow flags. Not on purpose, but you just think, oh, the car would have ghosted. But, yeah, that's exactly what's happened to Cloudy Balloons then. And he's out of qualifying. Samster, meanwhile, is backed out of it. He's retiring. He wanted to take the hairpin, but then decided not to. So we've got Scorpion out there, P7 at the moment. Only 2 more times to hit the board then, as Heskey Time finishes in P10. Here comes Scorpion then, can he improve? Only to P6, that's up a place from where he had before. So then, it looks like then, Jono, everyone has completed qualifying, and that means Reflow there, under the radar, managed to grab P2, but Don Cool grabs pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah, exciting session there, and that sets us up nicely. We've got Reflow on the front row with the current pace setter, Don Cool, but of course, different compounds of tyres, and Reflow did have to do 2 flying laps, I believe, on those Ultras as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That will come into effect when we get to the race then. Donkall there, getting pole position on a set of hyper soft tyres. Reflow in second, Matt FNG in third, Samster fourth, Lawrence in fifth, Scorpion in sixth, Pepsi Gamer seventh, Chopper in eighth, CSS ninth, hoping to score his first points of the season. Hesky Time in 10th, TK in 11th, but he has that 5-place grid penalty that will be applied. Farth in 12th, outside of the top 10 in the Mercedes. Lukey in 13th, White Fountain 14th, Cloudy Balloons 15th, Matt Yadadi 16th. Made Showman, who did not set a time at all. He didn't have a chance to set an outlap, and Jaw was disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous location. He will be starting at the back of the grid then. Jono, who are you picking out for your race winner today then?
Really tricky. I mean, Don Cool obviously great pace there on that opening lap he did, but he is on the Hypersoft tyre, so I think it will all come down to how well he can manage that tyre. Can he make the strategy work versus the guys behind him on the harder compounds of tyres? That will be the decider in this race, I believe.
And let's hear it in the chat then. Who are you backing today? Who are the flags flying for tonight? And if you really want to, who do you think is going to win the Canadian Grand Prix? Be interesting to know. Interesting to find out what you guys think. Leave comments below. Obviously, if you do comment during the race, we will try and look at it, depending on how much action there is. But I'm expecting, Jono, for there to be a lot of action and a lot of drama throughout this race.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we've got blue skies again for the race. So that's nice for the drivers. We obviously saw a wet podium tier race before this. So yeah, they can all run their preferred strategies here by the look of it, as the sun is in the sky for the Canadian Grand Prix as the drivers set off on their formation lap. So all about getting the tyres into their right window now before lights out.
Absolutely. We've got Boogster there saying Samster for sure is going to win this one. Well, Samster has to start from P4. He is on the ultra soft tyres, so he's got a disadvantage already to Lawrence and Scorpion starting behind him. They're on the hyper soft tyres. CSS, well, he's saying, I'm pretty sure he's saying himself though. He is starting from P9, hoping to score his first points of the season. Maybe Canada is the place for him. He can finally score his first points of the season. Matt also pointing out that Samster from 4th could be interesting to watch, and I agree. We have to watch out for him then. Reflow, hope to get back into form then. He's in second place. Front row of the grid will be a good way to get back onto form, but you know he wanted pole position there. Watch out for him going in towards turns 1 and 2 here on the very first lap. Chopper, who retired from qualifying, did have the 3rd fastest time, but of course he's starting on a set of hyper soft tyres because he was on a set of super softs when he crashed, so the tyres he qualified on stayed intact, and that means he has to use those tyres to start the race. Everyone outside the top 10 though, apart from Farth there, everyone outside the top 10 I should say, starting on the super soft tyres. So that is Farth, Lukey, White Fountain, Cloudy Balloons, Matt Your Daddy, TK with that 5-place grid penalty starts from P16, Made Showman, and Jaw there, who got disqualified from the qualifying session. Carl says, no, I'm CSS's friends. I'm not sure. Considering you have the same initials, CSS, I'll keep your secret for you if you really want to. As we head towards the grid now, ready to start this Canadian Grand Prix here in the Pinnacle tier of F1 TS Hub. Round number 7 is moments away.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Keep an eye on the fast starting Ferraris, made up positions most rounds this season. Can they do the same again?
Well, here we are then, moments away, tensions rising for the Canadian Grand Prix. We're waiting for those 5 red lights. Here they come, the sequence starts all over again. Round 7 is underway, and what the start's like. Looks like Reflow's got a good start, but watch out for the Ferrari of Matt FNG as we head in towards turn 1. He looked to try and get up the inside there, but has now lost out to Samster. Watch out for the cars behind them. We've got the Force India battling away with Scorpion. That was Lawrence. Round the outside he goes towards turn 3. They go for the first time, and watch out for the cars behind them. We've got a Red Bull trying to go up the inside, backed out of it, and we've got a Red Bull into the wall right in front of me there. I believe that was Hesky time, so I wonder if he's got any front wing damage. He tries to go up the inside of the Toro Rosso, but there's carnage ahead. It's Lawrence. Lawrence has turned around, going in towards turn 5, I believe that is. There's a Renault around as well. That's Lukey, I think that was. So we've got a front wing off on the Toro Rosso as well. That's Chopper, who just wanted to get a clean qualifying session and a clean race afterwards, finds himself into the wall and out of the race after turn number 5. Don Cool, is leading the way though. Reflow in second, Samster in third, Matt dropping to 4th there from Farth, by the way. jumping up to 5th place. Great start from Farth then, looking to try and keep his head down now as we're still looking at this battle here. This is CSS and Heskey time as we head down the long back straight, then up the hill and down the crest then as we head towards the chicane for the first time for these guys. The Red Bull of Heskey time still trying to get it up the inside. Too wide going into the chicane, doesn't really work, and there's the Red Bull round. Heskey time's off and into the wall. Not great camera angles I've got there, but I think that's his front wing off there, Jono. It's a long way back to the pits now.
Yeah, it's definitely got big front wing damage. Heskey time just losing the rear there, I think, on the curve, on the exit of that final chicane, and just spatting round into another car. And yeah, disaster for Heskey and for Lawrence as well. You have to say, that big melee we saw there, and can the guy not get any luck at all? He's able to continue, Lawrence, but yeah, down 5 positions. Big gainers, Farth, Cloudy and Matt Rudaddy, 5th, 6th and 7th.
Absolutely. Keep an eye on Farth then, who's managed to jump up to 5th place from 11th place on the grid. And meanwhile, the Ferraris are going to be battling away. Matt has got ahead of Samster, so no team orders for these guys just yet, even though Samster's leading the championship at this moment in time. Maybe he knows it's not over yet. Matt still wants to put himself as a title contender. Reflow, meanwhile, is trying to close in on Donkel. Remember, Don is on a set of Hypersoft tyres. Reflow is on a set of Ultrasoft, so you could argue here that Reflow has the tyre advantage here. He can go longer into the race as Farth is into the pits.
Right, Farth into the pits. So
he's had to change a front wing.
Damage?
Yeah,
obviously damage. What a shame for him after that lightning quick start. Put him right down towards the back of the field. Real shame for him. But as you mentioned, Reflow, he'll be pretty delighted, I think, to be able to, apparently at the moment, follow Don Cool relatively easily on that harder compounded tyre. The race will only come to him from here. So yes, Reflow will be pretty happy under that helmet at the moment.
I looked at the wrong circuit map, Jono, because I was wrong earlier on. There's not 2 DRS zones, there's 3. Between turn 7 and turn 8, there's a DRS zone. See, it always catches me out which circuit map to use, and I've used the wrong one, Jono. Never mind, though. We've got a race to focus on.
We have, and you have to say 3. It sounds, there's a lot of DRS zones that we're getting towards the stage where we're having on every straight before long. But yeah, we've got 3 to look out for here, so that, make overtaking even easier at this circuit where slipstream and DRS are all powerful.
Absolutely, Reflow still right on the tail of Donkel. This is exactly what Reflow wanted. It's not what Donkel wanted at all. He wanted to just try and pull away as Matt sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:11.7 on those set of ultra soft tyres. Meanwhile then, Jaw and CSS trying to battle away then, as Jaw, remember, had to come from the back of the grid. He was disqualified from qualifying as he tries to go up the inside going into turn 1 and made that look really easy there, Jaw. He now moves up into 9th place. Just looked for the gap, found it, and just used it to perfection there. Jaw up to P9.
Yeah, great stuff from Jaw. He's come from the back of the field, and yeah, by lap 4 he's made up 9 positions, P9, so the Haas driver looking solid at the moment.
Oh, there's a little bit of contact between Reflow and Don there, but Reflow has found a way through, and as we head towards the hairpin now, we've got the Ferrari here of Matt and Samster to get involved as well. Matt tried around the inside, got onto the grass. That's going to allow Samster to have an opportunity to now have a run on Matt FNG, which he does, and that means he'll have the DRS as well, as we now head with Don and Reflow down the back straight. Don had that DRS there, and he's back past Reflow before the chicane even happens. Same behind them. Matt is in front of Samster at the chicane, and as you were, I guess, as we head towards turn 1.
Yeah, as you were. Lots of chopping and changing there. Reflow pretty much out of electrical energy as well. The ERS is using that hard at the moment to fight Don Cool early on. I think the Ferraris are going to work together if they can. They are passing each other, I know, but I think they're going to try and do it minimising any time loss and try and keep with these front 2.
Reflow going up the inside, going towards turn 6, and he's got the move done. And I wonder if Don here, his tyres are starting to wear away. We are 5 laps in. They can last a little bit longer, but not much longer for sure. Matt FNG is just trying to find a way past again, trying to go around the outside, which then becomes the inside, so the door slams shut. Meanwhile, Reflow is able to get away. He's now a second ahead as we head into the DRS zone. So Don here is not going to have DRS, I don't think, as they pass the activation point. But careful, that Ferrari there of Matt FNG, really ready to try and take that position away from Don as we head into the 3rd DRS straight on the track here. Both Ferraris will be giving each other a little bit of tow here, Matt, especially to Samster, as we head towards the chicane then. Trying to go up the inside of the chicane never really is a good idea, but Matt hasn't got the chicane right at all there, as Samster will be looking to try and gain an advantage of that. He's going to have to go round the outside going into turn 1 as Matt tries to hold the inside line, but Samster gets ahead of Matt then, Matt making that mistake, and he's allowed his teammate to get third place and have a real go at Don here as we head towards turn 3.
Yeah, this strategy already looking pretty difficult for Don. Suddenly struggling so much for pace, and the rear of that car, you know, on traction looks very, very poor. He's either overheated those rear tyres or he's just struggling for overall grip and wear at the moment. At lap 6 of the race, and he's already a little bit of a mobile chicane here, I think, for the Ferraris.
Absolutely. Reflow leads then, 1.3 seconds between him and Don Cool, who's in second place. Samster third, Matt in fourth, Cloudy Balloons fifth, Matt Yadadi sixth, TK seventh, Lawrence eighth, Jor in ninth, and CSS currently in 10th place, rounding off the point scoring positions.
Yeah, so what's Don Cool going to do to make his strategy work? How long can he hold out on these hypersoft tyres? It's looked a little bit more stable for him on this lap, but Sam has got a good run on DRS here. He's going to go to the outside as Don Cool defends in the chicane, and he's able to defend, and Sam has to straight line the second part of the chicane there, and he will return the position by the look of it. So yeah, Don Cool back into P2, but for how much longer?
Absolutely. Well, in doing that, he had to give that place back to Matt as well, unintentionally, but well, Don Cool holds on to second place for now. Samster, as you say, just ran out of room there. Didn't really have anywhere to go other than across the chicane rather than going through it. But the two Ferraris are hounding this McLaren right now as Matt really trying to find a way past. He's going to try and find a way past round the outside of turn 6. Ooh. What a move from Matt there. Brilliant stuff there. But Samster looking to try and pick up the pieces as well. Has Matt finally found that way past Don there? And can he now try and pull away from his teammate?
Yeah, and I was on board with Sam then. He did touch the back of Don Cool, no damage I don't think, but nearly got caught out by just how much later he can brake than the McLaren driver. And yeah, as you said, Matt forcing the issue, making his way through. You can see reflow disappearing into the distance, so these Ferraris need to get past Don Cool and get on their way as quick as they can. Absolutely.
Samster is spurred on by that as we head towards the chicane. But again, round the outside or making it too wide going through the chicane isn't a good idea, but he will prioritise the exit as we head towards turn 1, lap 8 of this Grand Prix then. Here comes Samster trying to go round the outside. He's onto the grass, but still trying to make the move round the outside. It becomes the inside line for turn 2. Can Don try and hold on? No, he can't. He hasn't quite got the grip. And finally, Samster makes his move and gets up into P3.
Yeah, he's got the job done, and crucial it was too. So 3.4 seconds Reflow has over the Ferrari of Matt at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that gap and see if those boys can work together and perhaps throws the Mercedes driver in before we come to the pit stops.
We're running aboard with Pepsi Gamer then, and as he tries to close down on Maze Showman here, you can see here Pepsi Gamer's trying to go around the outside here as we head towards turn 5 then. Locking up, going to the inside, trying to keep a hold of the car, and Maze Showman has to back out of it. He ran out of room there as we headed through towards turns 6 and 7. Pepsi Gamer up a position then, but Maze Showman isn't going to take that line down then as we head towards turns 8 and 9. Watch out for the Force India of Lawrence, by the way. Lawrence, who pitted, or is already pitted, I should say. He's going to want in on this action then as we head towards the hairpin for the 9th time this race. And as we go round the hairpin, you can see Pepsi Gamer just about holding on. But here comes Lawrence then, attacking Maze Showman here down this back straight here as we head towards the DRS zone. Don Cool, by the way, is into the pits. And as you can see there, Pepsi Gamer is going very defensive as we head towards the chicane here. Maze Showman just about holding on with that straight line speed then, as he's got a bit of defending to do from the Force India. As we head towards turn 1, here comes the Force India now, up the inside, going in towards turn 1. Oh, and that's Maze Showman who goes onto the grass there. I think he misjudged how much room he had to leave there, but he went onto the grass, kept it under control, only loses one position rather than his entire front wing. Meanwhile, though, Don Cool is straight on the attack then, as he gets past Scorpion going into turn 6. A little bit of contact made there, as Don Cool looked like he understeered into Scorpion there, but he is up a position on the ultra soft tyres. Jono, can he make those ultra softs last to the end?
Yeah, I think that's going to be tricky. I think he could well be looking at a two-stop strategy here. If so, he's going to have to push very, very hard to make this race work for him. But yeah, I was slightly surprised to see him on the ultra soft tyre. But you know, he chose to go on the hyper, so it's obviously the strategy he has planned out beforehand. So we will see what he can do for the remainder of the race.
Absolutely. Jamie in the chat saying it's definitely a two-stop for Donkel then. We're riding with Pepsi Gamer and Lawrence as we head towards turns 13 and 14, looking to try and make as much room as possible as Pepsi Gamer taps the wall there. Very, very close there. That could have easily been a retirement for Pepsi Gamer as we head towards turn 1. Lawrence sticking it up the inside here. It might become the outside if he can't close the door, but the four-cylinder driver can close the door, and he moves up into P12 on fresher tyres. He's got the move done, Jono.
Yeah, Lawrence on the charge, on the comeback, obviously on those fresher ultra soft tyres. Makes a good move there on Pepsi Gamer. He's now got a bit of a gap in front of him, so he can use his pace now and try and claw his way back up this field.
White Fountain, meanwhile, is in 15th place. Got caught up earlier on in the race, but is looking now to try and fight back in this race. Second place last time out at Monaco. Currently P15 in the race. Still a long way to go. There's still every chance of a safety car in this race. We're going to cut quickly onto Donkel and CSS then as we head towards turns 13 and 14. Looks like Donkel's got the inside line, and in fairness, I don't think CSS put up too much of a fight there as they headed into the chicane.
Yeah, not a lot CSS can do that. They're in different races and they've got tyres at completely the opposite end of their life cycle as well. So yeah, Donkel made pretty light work of that, didn't he? So we know he's got great pace, so he'll now be on the charge. He needs to get up as far as he can before he has to pit again. I'm not sure if the two-stop is really the optimum way to take this race, but it's what Donkel's attempting here.
Meanwhile, Samster is right on the back of Matt FNG as the two Ferrari teammates, head into the hairpin. Then a little bit of a tag then from Samster as they head through that left-hander of turn 11, then through the right-hander of turn 12. As we now head down this long straight up the crest and then down it. You can see there Samster with the DRS is looking to try and pull alongside, and Matt there I think backed out of the chicane then. Knew Samster had the straight line speed and backed out of it. Meanwhile then, Reflow is in, and on go a set of Super Sauce, a one stop then from Reflow. So where will he rejoin, and where will he rejoin in terms of Donkel then? Where is Donkel? It's just coming through the chicane then. Now it's an interesting pit exit, this one. Here comes Reflow out onto the track, and it looks like he's going to rejoin ahead then. He'll go round the outside. Yep, he's rejoined ahead of Donkel, so that has not worked for the McLaren driver at all.
Yeah, not worried about one bit. So yeah, be pretty disappointed with that, I think. Reflow then, first blink of the front three. So will the Ferraris, or will one of the Ferraris, respond this time round? I think they probably will try and cover him off if they can.
Absolutely, but they've got to think now, is it worth battling or is it worth trying to work together in the two Ferraris? Of course, it is round 7. They're both still wanting to hunt down a championship battle. Samster has the lead right now, and to call team orders this early on in the season, it would just it really wouldn't work out for either driver. So it looks like they're battling now and seeing which of them can make those tyres last the longest.
Yeah, I mean, Matt has pitted first. In last week's talk show, the Ferraris did say they are already in teamwork mode and that Sam is the de facto #1 in that team. Matt said he's going to help Sam try and get the title if he can. So yeah, there's already team orders in play for sure, and Matt is the first to pit then. So where will he rejoin?
Well, he'll rejoin behind Don and Reflow for sure, but how much further behind will he be then? Let's have a look at the gap to the leader then. You can see 19.9 behind the leader. And we get to the first mini sector then, so 18.3. So it looks like, yeah, he's now about 9.5 seconds back from Reflow. So he's lost a lot of time in the pit lane. 6 seconds he's lost to Reflow there.
Wow, yeah, I think it's like 3.7 seconds to Sam Reflow had before he pitted. So it looks like the undercut is going to work out well, and yeah, Reflow's probably going to have a pretty healthy lead by the time Sam pits as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Watch out for those penalties as well on the bottom left of your screen. We may not always be able to catch them, but Lawrence, meanwhile, has just dispatched of Farth then. Lawrence now up into P9 as we head towards the the hairpin here, as Farth here, still down in P10, hasn't really had the opportunity to push as hard as he possibly can. He's done 10 laps on those tyres. He started, I believe, on the Hypersofts because he was 10th place starting, so he's committed himself to the 2-stop as well. And as you were saying, Jono, as there you go, Farth comes into the pits then from 10th place, presumably to put on another set of tyres to get to the end of the race.
Yeah, so Farth did have that wing damage, didn't he, on lap 1 or 2, whatever it was, so his strategy was compromised from the off there. So yeah, he's going to pit now and try and get to the end, but probably couldn't push as much as he wanted to on that compromised strategy, trying to do the one more stop from that point. As Reflow going side by side with as he gets past the Haas driver. So important for Reflow, he doesn't lose any time, and he's dispatched with him pretty well. So next up will be Matt Your Daddy if he catches him before Matt decides to pit.
Well, Don there going straight up the inside of TK, and TK and Reflow coming very close there, but kept it clean. So Don there found it a much easier time to get past TK then as they headed in towards the hairpin. You can see though the gap between Reflow and Don is 9/10 of a second. So I'm wondering then if Don has made the right call in the 2-stop he looks to be having. Samster's into the pits, by the way. Now, where will he rejoin then in terms of himself and Matt? Where is Matt on circuit? He's just gone past the start-finish line. Now, remember the unique layout of the pit exit. They might come out side by side. They do come out side by side. And what is the two teammates going to do here? What are they going to do? Not really a great camera angle to show for here, as Matt, I think, has the inside line, and he does get the position ahead of Samster. And if you were saying, Jono, that they wanted to do the team orders thing, I'd have thought Matt would have just lifted off out of that corner.
Yeah, I agree. They were definitely side by side there, weren't they? I think Sam probably did the smart thing in the end in lifting out Matt on those, obviously, tyres that are up to temperature. It's usually a bit tricky to bring the super softs in on the opening lap of the stint. So yeah, I'm not surprised there that Sam slotted in behind in the end and in attempt to fight back once he's got the tyres up to temperature. Well,
Reflow and Donkel have made moves on Matt Your Daddy. Matt Your Daddy, meanwhile, is not going to take that line down as we head towards the chicane, as Donkel just keeps to the inside line then as we head towards turns 13 and 14, and they three of them make it through without a scratch then on that time around. Meanwhile, Samster closing in on Matt then into the DRS zone, into one of the 3 DRS zones we have here at the Canadian Grand Prix, and as you can see, Samster looking to try and find his way past his teammate, and one position can mean all the difference when it comes towards the championship standings. May only be 7th and 8th right now, but Cloudy Balloons, Matt Your Daddy, TK and Jaw have all yet to stop in this race yet.
Yeah, it's been a few drivers yet to stop, and Sam has obviously tried to go a bit longer than Reflow, do something a little bit different and give him some better tyres at the end of the race, but I just think that gap might have got a little bit too big in those few laps extra he went on. I think it's going to be really tough to come back from here.
Yeah, absolutely, and I wonder what Doncool is thinking right now. He's on a set of ultra soft tyres. I mean, you were saying, Jono, he might not be able to get them to the end of the race. So, really, he's got to be careful here. If he's going to do the 2-stop, he needs to make sure he rejoins in clear air. If he rejoins in traffic on any of his stints, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. As we have yellow flags in Sector 2. Try and find out who that is. So the yellow flags have cleared. So not entirely sure who that was. But the yellow flags have cleared. So it wasn't a major incident there. And it could have been involving Heskey Time, actually, who's left the session. He's got front wing damage. So well, that could be that explains that something then, as we see Jaw and Matt there battling for position here. Matt trying to go up the inside, going in towards turn 6, very tight there, and scrapping away here is Jaw. Remember, he started from the back of the grid. So Matt here has got some work to do as the Haas driver tries to cover off that inside line. Didn't quite work, and Matt gets the position up. Meanwhile, Samster's trying to go around the outside as we headed through turn number 9. Great move from Samster. Just looked to take advantage there as the Haas driver can't quite fight with those 16-lap-old super soft tyres, and both the Ferraris make it past the Haas in just one sector.
They do, and Samster, ever the opportunist there, taking advantage of draw being slowed by Matt and makes his way around the outside. So both Ferraris continue on their way. Doncool is keeping with as Sam picks up a 3-second time penalty there, so that could well come into play at the end of the race. But yeah, Doncool just keeping it in DRS to retail at the moment, but I think it's probably Slipstream, to be honest, that's allowing him to stay there. I've been riding on board him a bit, and he is struggling again for rear traction. So yeah, maybe that's Doncool's nemesis slightly in this race, keeping those rear tyre temperatures under control.
Well, they're both catching up to Cloudy Balloons here, who he's yet to stop in this race. So he's been doing a good job on those super soft tyres, but he's now under immense pressure from Reflow and Doncool. By the way, White Fountain, 11th place, has done 16 laps on those ultra soft tyres. Here comes Reflow up the inside into the hairpin, and with the better tyres you'd think he'd get the better traction then as we head side by side now in towards the DRS zone. Obviously the DRS detection point is before the hairpin, and we'll see here Cloudy Balloons has a good aero set up for the straights then as we head into the chicane, and Reflow has the position. Contact! Contact! Doncool ran into the back of Cloudy Balloons there, and does he have front wing damage, I wonder? Yes, he does, right hand side of that front wing. So he's going to have a lot less aero then. I'm not entirely sure if he reacted in time or whatever happened. Meanwhile, we've got Battle of the Mats here as we head in towards turn 2. The Ferrari of Samsa looking to try and gain an advantage here. Now Matt could be wearing out his tyres with this battle. A little bit of contact between the two Mats then as we headed into the entrance of turn number 3, and I don't think Matt FNG left enough room for the Renault there. So the Renault hit the wall, and Farth is out. Farth is out of the race. And has he gone into the Wall of Champions? No, he hasn't.
I couldn't quite spot it there.
Well, Doncool, by the way, still holding on to P2 then. So, yeah, he's got a big amount of damage to that front wing, right-hand side. That is not what he wanted at all. But if he did have to stop again, well, that's only going to be even more of an incentive to pit earlier.
Yeah, we'll see if he even decides to pit now. We know he could pit now, put on a set of super softs or whatever and go to the end, and he is going to pit. I think that wing damage is just too much. And a quick mention on that incident between the two Matts as well. As you said, I don't think Matt FNG left quite enough room, and Matty Daddy was put into the wall very slightly. I think he got away with it, but that could have been a pretty nasty incident. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, let's see what Doncool does then. I believe that super soft tyres going on. I think it is. Yep, the red wall tyres are going on. So Jaw, Lawrence, and who else is that? Oh no, it's just those three for now. Doncool, Jaw, and Lawrence all into the pits then. As you can see now, Doncool making his way out of the pit exit. Of course, round the outside it goes, and he rejoins in 9th place behind White Fountain. White Fountain, by the way, has done 18 laps on a set of ultra soft tyres. That is a mega stint from him so far.
That is an incredible stint. Yeah, he's up against the only other drivers to get anywhere near that part of the race are on the super soft. So White Fountain taking those tyres incredibly long and obviously looking after them pretty well indeed. But surely he's due to stop very soon as Doncool, obviously on the brand new super soft, straight up the inside of White Fountain, who doesn't fight that one and does look like he's struggling for wear. I think we'll see him imminently.
Absolutely. CSS's teammate then, as we head towards the hairpin, made a little bit of contact with him on the exit of turn 9, but has got the move done. Meanwhile then, up ahead we've got Matty Daddy getting a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. It's always an awkward pit lane to come into. You have to brake so early and the line is closer than you think, and well, Matty Daddy has fallen victim to that, and he picks himself up a 5-second time penalty, which will be added at the end of his race, considering he doesn't stop again.
Yeah, shame for him. As you say, it's so easy to speed. Trying to pick where to brake is very, very tricky, and Matt's obviously got it a little bit wrong, so he's going to rejoin, and Pepsi Gamer just behind him as well. So those two rejoining, and Scorpion going to get in between them by the look of it as well.
Yep, Scorpion, who looks like he's going to go to the end on those super softs. He's got Pepsi Gamer, Lukey, White Fountain, Made Showman. They're all on ultra soft tyres, and they're all going to try and close in on him. So he's going to find it tough here to defend 11th place.
Yeah, I think he is. And we're looking for Cloudy Balloons, who's still in P2, and TK in P5. They are still yet to pit. So during any moment, as Sam and Sam battling with Clyde as well by the look of it, as Clyde does enter the pit lane in fact.
Yep, here he goes then. I wonder if TK's in. Yes, he is. TK's also in. The Red Bull then looking like he's going to put on a set of Ultra Softs. There he goes. And what does TK do then as he heads towards this box then? What tyres will he put on then? Looks like it's Ultra Softs. So a pretty standard Super Soft to Ultra Soft stint for the both of them. So look out for them as the race comes to its conclusion. These guys could be the ones to watch out for, as they're on faster tyres and tyres that won't wear away too quickly. So Cloudy Balloons then rejoined in 4th place.
Yeah, he's pulled off a blind of a strategy here so far, up 11 positions, and he's on that ultra soft tyre as well. It just shows what strategy can do for you. Don Cool, obviously on pole position, is now behind Cloudy Balloons and on the super soft tyre as well. So strategy is always key in F1, and Cloudy Balloons is delivering on that so far.
Absolutely, but he will find himself more than 20 seconds back from the leader Reflow, so he's going to have a long way to go if he's going to get anywhere near Reflow today. But as we see at the hairpin here, we've got I believe that CSS, Jaw, TK, Lawrence. There's also Matt Your Daddy. That could become a 4-way battle for 6th place before you know it.
Yeah, it could indeed, and we've got a nice split of tyre compounds between those drivers as well. So this will be good to watch, I think, and the Haas drivers made their way forward pretty well in 7th and 8th, and Lawrence as well on the comeback trail at the moment, and he's looking at the inside of TK into turn 1. TK doesn't defend, and that's Lawrence up into P8.
Yeah, it's strange how TK didn't defend that one, because Lawrence on super soft tyres, you would think here that TK would have had the tyre advantage, but maybe TK's not interested in battling Lawrence. Maybe he's interested in defending from Matt Your Daddy, in which case he's let the fast car through to defend himself from a car that he wants to race with.
Yeah, that could well be the case. Didn't want to lose time, and I think Lawrence probably, he's looking pretty quick. There's a Jaw there, looking like he's getting a bit tangled up with CSS. And a good close contact there, but definitely both of them slowed, and that's allowed TK to close back onto them as well. So we've got 4-way scrap here into the hairpin.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like CSS has just kept position for now, but Lawrence and TK... Oh, Lawrence and TK come very close together. TK had to take to the grass there, and I wonder how these four are going to handle the chicane then, as CSS tries to go defensive as we head towards the chicane. Is this going to end in tears? I think it's just about going to kick together, is it? Just about. And Lawrence there is going to try and find a way past CSS here, but you can see TK in the slipstream with the DRS. Has got past Lawrence here. Good instinctive driving from him to take the slipstream and the DRS. Now he gets a chance of getting past CSS here. I said to him, I said about him before, maybe he didn't want to battle Lawrence. No, he wanted to battle CSS. that's what he wanted to do. As we head towards it. I see here
and
now.
But fair racing between those guys as well. CSS on those 12 black hole super soft, so he's on the slowest tyre by far of these drivers. But he's defending hard and causing a little bit of a bottleneck at the moment, as TK has to look around the outside into the chicane, and it looks like CSS may have to let this one go, or will he send it down the inside into the hairpin?
Oh, there's a little bit of contact between him and Lawrence there. Lawrence took to the grass. Now this battle's become 5 cars for 6th place right now. Matt Your Daddy has joined onto the back of this queue then. So all of them will have DRS, apart from TK, of course, as we head up the crest, then down the crest towards the chicane. And for now, it looks like they're going to stay single file. Oh no, that's a massive lunge up the inside from CSS. A massive lunge. I'm not entirely sure whether he kept all 4 wheels on the track there, but he's got the position.
Yeah, these drivers, as you say, 5 now. Matt, Your Daddy has joined in this chain well and truly as well. All side by side, nearly 3 abreast there into turn 2. And somehow CSS is still holding all of these drivers off as they take it in turns to try and attack the side driver.
This 5-car battle has become 6 cars now as Pepsi Gamers joins the fray. He now tries to go up the inside of Lawrence there. Oh, they tangle! No. The two of them tangle! No damage to either of them, but they lock tyres and they've lost a bit of ground then. Scorpion's in the background as well. This is hectic, this battle here.
Yeah, it's absolutely hectic, and it's, they've just about got away with it there. Pepsi Gamer, no damage by the look of it, so they're going to continue. So, as Jaw goes super deep into the hairpin there, has to bail out of it and falls back to 8th. But actually gets a good exit on Matty Daddy here as well. So, is everybody going to have the RS?
Oh, big contact!
Oh, no.
Matty Daddy into the wall there. And I think that was involved with Jaw there. I'm not entirely sure, but Matty Daddy has to come into the pits then. Big front wing damage. And, well, a battle between that many cars. I'm surprised, Jono, that didn't happen earlier.
Yeah, it's a real shame that on the straight there, contact, and as you mentioned before, Matty Daddy just doesn't seem to have luck going his way more often than not, and once again, he's the victim, and he's in the pits, and he's got to serve his 5-second penalty as well, just to add insult to injury before they fit that new front wing.
Absolutely. Lukey here is trying to close in on White Fountain as we head towards turns 3 and 4. Got a lot of battles to keep our eye on here. Lawrence is trying to reel in Pepsi Gamer once again. And Pepsi Gamer, who was 10th only a lap ago, now finds himself up into P8. That's a move from TK there on CSS, but it didn't quite work out. Not the same way CSS did, lunging into turn 13 and 14 at the chicane. Impressive move there. Whether he kept all 4 wheels on the track is another question, but here comes Pepsi Gamer up the inside. The McLaren trying to make way, but couldn't quite find that way past then as we head down the back straight for the 27th time for these drives, or 26th time. They haven't crossed the line yet to start lap 27, but the 2 Haas's as well, looking like they're trying to make it 3 wide as we go in towards the chicane. Somehow they've kept it all clean then. Jaw took a compromised line, a compromised entry into the chicane. Now he's under threat from Lawrence as we now head down towards turn 1 then. Lawrence will have the inside line. It'll become the outside. If Jaw can close the door, he can. And Lawrence there just couldn't quite find that way past.
Yeah, Jaw able to fend that one off, but as you say, he was quite kind, I think, in giving space to Pepsi Gamer in the final chicane, compromised him down the straight then into turn 1, but able to defend from Lawrence, and Pepsi Gamer now having a look at TK, and he gets a good little cut back on the exit there, and Pepsi Gamer has managed to dispatch of both Haas cars now, so he's made his way up to P6. So he'll be the next guy, if he can get there, onto the back of CSF to have a go at trying to overtake the Fiber, who's actually broken away a little bit with the battling all these guys and we're doing behind him. Absolutely.
Here comes TK, or Jaw, sorry, up the inside of TK. The 2 Haas teammates battling it out. Lawrence there finds himself down to P9. Don Cool at the moment has found a way past Scorpion. If things go his way, he might be able to join this battle very, very soon and get himself a good haul of points as a recovery drive. Here they come then towards turns 13 and 14. Looks like the Force India and the Haas there. A little bit of a slide there. TK picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. But, well, I think he'd rather that than a lost front wing, which what it could have been in that scenario.
Yeah, somebody has to give him that in that chicane. If you don't, it'll end in tears for somebody. You've got to give space eventually. And they've all done a pretty good job of that so far. And as you say, Don Cool, he set fastest lap. As I say that, go on board with Don Cool. Nearly loses the car completely there into the chicane. But I think he's going to be very, very rapid now. Fastest lap, a lap or 2 ago. And on to the back of TK. So Don Cool here looking for a good recovery drive if he can get it. And there's all these drivers so close in front of him. P5 is still achievable for Don, I think.
Absolutely. Well, Matt was saying in the chat here, Matt Malloy, I'm hoping I'm saying your name right, is saying that this battle for P5 is opening things up for Cloudy Balloons because he's now 18.8 seconds ahead. He's saying he could pit for Hypersoft tyres to come out ahead of this battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Cloudy Balloons is well clear. So, yeah, barring any incidents for him, 4th place at least looking absolutely solid. As Don Cool, he's dispatched of TK, so that's 1 down. For McLaren and DRS as well, so that will allow him just to ease away now. And ahead we've got Lawrence having a look at Jaw, nearly contact there, but gets away with it and closing up now. Pepsi Gamer onto CSS as well, so I think we'll have another bottleneck of drivers coming up very shortly.
Absolutely, and this is where Don Cool has to be a little bit mature here. He has to pick his moments here through a pack of battling cars who are all trying to fight for as many points as possible. He's got to pick his moment, pick his braking points absolutely right, and try and find the way past that is clean and won't get him into trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. As Lawrence loses the car a little bit, and that gives Don Cool 1 easy position. I think he'll have a look at Jaw into the hairpin as well. and he does so. So next up for Don Corley will be his teammate, Pepsi Gamer. Will Pepsi Gamer play fair and let him go? Will Joe have a go at coming back? He's having a look on the outside, but I think if Don stays to the inside, Joe will have nowhere to go. And yeah, with DRS, Don Corley pulling away then. So CSS, sorry, Pepsi Gamer right behind him. It could all end in tears this from CSS. He's defended so well. He's got 5th place in his sights as we're on lap 30 or 35. And those tyres are getting very, very old. And as I say that, Pepsi Gamer able to stick it down inside. And I think he'll have better traction on the exit, and he does so. So the first guy to actually make it past CSS in this epic battle, Pepsi Gamer. And Don Cool looks like he's going to follow him straight through as well. So McLaren's making good progress in the last stages of this race. So CSS got to try and keep it together now and hang on to the 7th place if he can.
Donkel there, as you were saying, P5 could be his best scenario. The only person that separates him from that is his teammate, Pepsi Gamer. What a story that was 2 laps ago when he was looking at P10.
Yeah, definitely. He's making great progress. And Pepsi Gamer then lets his teammate go. He backed out of that into the hairpin. And I guess there's no point battling. Pepsi would be best probably to follow Donkel, use the slipstream to pull away from this battling field behind him. And say goodbye to that. He's probably had enough of trying to go side by side with these guys for now. And Lawrence will be the next guy in the Force India on his recovery drive as well, to have a go at CSS if he can line him up. He's got pretty good exit in the final corner, but CSS has got DRS on Pepsi Gamer as well, so he's going to have to follow him for a little longer at least.
5 laps to go here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Reflow still leads the way. 4.6 seconds. That has come down very slightly there. Samsa trying to close the gap. Matt FNG in 3rd. Cloudy Balloons in 4th. Donkel 5th. Pepsi Gamer 6th. CSS in 7th. We're watching him right now as Lawrence in P8 tries to battle him. He's now trying to go up the inside, is he? Still, the gap is left open by CSS, but no dice. Lawrence can't find a way through. We've got Jaw in P9, TK P10, Scorpion in 11th, White Fountain 12th, Lukey in 13th, Made Showman 14th, Matty Daddy 15th, Hesky Time in 16th, although he is running around as a ghost car right now. And non-finishers, Fastbird and Chopper out of the race. And we see CSS trying to defend from Lawrence as we head into the hairpin once more. And trying to get that exit is crucial here. You've got to get that exit absolutely spot on here. And, well, CSS is looking to try and score some points. He hasn't scored any points this season so far. All the point scoring for Sauber has been done by White Fountain. So he'll be looking to try and change that here. But Lawrence has found a way past. He went round the outside using that DRS and made that move look pretty easy. But you can see here CSS is not going to get that, or not going to leave that line down. He did try and go for a gap up the inside, had to lock up though, the gap had closed, and CSS loses that position to Lawrence though, and Lawrence can try and find a late charge towards Pepsi Gamer.
Yeah, he'll go on the charge if he can. He's got a bit of a gap to try and bridge in just a few laps now, but he'll do his best. But CSS, unfortunately for him, is super soft tyres. He's managed them for 20 laps, but I think they are beginning to fall away now. And he's got Jaw and TK, the 2 Haas cars, on the quicker ultra soft tyre. They will be looking to try and gain that position as well if they possibly can in these final few laps, as Lawrence picks up a penalty there as well. So penalties, I think, are going to perhaps come into play once we see the final results. Yeah,
absolutely. We've got the ghost car of Hesky Time coming up. And, well, he got pole position, I believe, whilst I was gone, but couldn't quite make it work. And once again, running around as a ghost car. Again, his races don't seem to be coming together at all. Here comes Jaw, meanwhile, looking to try and make a move on CSS round the outside, but CSS and Jaw come together. And, well, CSS has got a time penalty there for corner cutting. That's what the game said. There was one other penalty. Not entirely sure what, though. Jaw trying to go up the inside, going in towards turn 1, and closes the door for turn 2. And he's got the move done. Eventually, Jaw moves ahead of CSS there.
Yeah, that was not ideal, was it? That was very, very close to disaster. You do not want to be going side by side at that point on the track, but they both just about somehow got away with it. And yeah, Jaw is through. So TK,
bit of contact there. Bit of contact between himself and CSS. That's brought TK and White Fountain straight into the mix then. CSS has got to be careful here as we head towards turns 8 and turns 9. Very aggressive. Still trying to stick it round the outside. This is inviting now Scorpion to join the front as well.
White Fountain as well.
As CSS trying to go up the inside, he's being so aggressive here, but he's left the door wide open for TK then. He's trying to defend that line too, and he's gone round. Oh, no. CSS is into the wall. He's collected White Fountain, his teammate, as well as Jaw. Oh, disaster for CSS, what looked like a potential point-scoring position. He might have just thrown it away here. Scorpion here has moved up towards P9. So, well, he's benefited from that. CSS comes straight into the pits. White Fountain decides to stay out. And, well, Jono, CSS must have just gone so aggressive there, and he's lost all chance of points here.
Yeah, I didn't see actually what happened exactly at that point, but we just said before that CSS was suddenly looking so desperate and so aggressive on fighting back against Jaw, when I just don't think he had the tyres to do it, to be honest, and it all came together in that hairpin. Got all a bit messy in the end, and CSS, after a brave drive, it's all gone a bit wrong, and he rejoins them down in P14.
Well, Reflow has just started the final lap of the race. We haven't seen a lot of him during this race, but if you're leading the race and we don't see a lot of you, that's probably a good sign as he makes his way towards turns 3 and 4. Didn't quite get pole position. It's not quite been the perfect day for him, but I tell you what, he'll be wanting this to get straight back onto form here. The gap may be reduced by only 7 points, but that's 7 less points the gap would be at the top, and that will be a win for Reflow. Samster in P2 at the moment, with Matt in P3. Cloudy Balloons, though, 4th place at the moment. Of course, there's still a couple of corners to go. Reflow can't be celebrating just yet as he heads towards the hairpin then, and we're coming down the back straight for the final time then, as Reflow... I think, Jono, you said that I was his good luck charm, and it seems like he's back on form. As soon as I'm back in the commentary box, he's already weaving down the back straight then as we head towards the chicane for the final time past the Wall of Champions, and Reflow heads towards the start-finish line. He's going to win the Canadian Grand Prix. Samster finishes in 2nd place there. Yes, great drive from Reflow. Matt there will finish in P3, rounds off the podium there. Cloudy Balloons, though, what a drive from Cloudy. He'll come home in P4. Great drive from him then. Donkel there, who got caught up in an incident earlier on this race. I'll tell you what, a couple of laps ago he was looking at 10th place. Now he's looking at 5th place. It's all about the recovery drives in a season and how you respond to bad situations. Donkel there finishing in P5. That's a good result for him after everything that's happened. Pepsi Gamer and Lawrence just about crossing the line side by side there, and well, Lawrence had a huge amount of penalties. That's going to come back to bite him because TK and Scorpion have jumped in there. So TK in 7th place, Scorpion in 8th. White Fountain, they're up to 9th now as Lawrence finishes in 10th. Jaw in 11th as Lukey here is coming through the final chicane. And it looks like he's going to try and grab P12 as CSS there rounding up towards P13, but he had 12 seconds of penalties as that Maid Showman will finish on the lead lap, I believe, in P14. But your winner of the Canadian Grand Prix, it's Reflow.
Yeah, amazing race, incredible battle there in the final third of the race. You just could not take your eyes off it. As we mentioned before the start of the race, the midfield in this tier, they just give us action every round, and today, well, probably more than ever, to be honest. That was absolutely fantastic racing.
Well, the gap at the top has come down to 30 points now. Reflow closing that gap on Samster with a win here in Montreal. But importantly for Ferrari, 2nd and 3rd, they extend their lead at the top of the Constructors' table. So any moment now we will get the unofficial results, and there they are. Reflow takes the race win. Samster in 2nd, Matt FNG in 3rd, Cloudy Balloons in 4th, Donkel in 5th, Pepsi Gamer 6th, TK in 7th, Scorpion in 8th, White Fountain 9th, Lawrence in 10th rounding off the points, Jaw in 11th, Lukey in 12th, Maid Showman 13th, CSS 14th, Matt Your Daddy 15th, a lap down. Heskey Time didn't finish the session in a human car, that's for sure. And Chopper, though, did not finish the race, involved in incidents earlier on in the race. Well, Jono, I always say the Canadian Grand Prix delivers. It's one of my favourite tracks on the calendar. We could safely say that was a pretty good race.
It was indeed. need a bit of a relax after that one. That was absolutely fantastic. Reflow, I think once he got past Don Cool, he had the race under control, to be honest. Don Cool, good recovery to get fifth after obviously that bit of damage, but honestly, I think with the strategy that Don Cool had in that race, I don't think he could have finished much higher than fourth or fifth anyway. And Sam, I think, will be pretty happy with second as well. Obviously, damage limitation, you can't win them all. And second, obviously, maintains his championship lead with only a 7-point loss. And that midfield battle was absolutely incredible.
Absolutely, and I believe this time next week we do it all again. Is that right, Jono?
I believe so.
And it'll be the French Grand Prix, round number 8. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But great to be back, Jono. Great to be back in the box with you. A fantastic race, and Reflow back on top of the podium. And I'm sure he'll want to stay there for as long as he possibly can. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching the Pinnacle tier. Now go over to the Prestige tier. They're just in qualifying. Go watch them now. It's their turn to steal the spotlight. But, Jono, that was a fantastic race. Looking forward to next week already.
Absolutely, cannot wait. If we're going to get even half a good a race next week as we got this week, then it will be well worth tuning in for.
And I'll be here in the box. I hope, Jono, you'll be joining me as well.
Yeah, as far as I know, I will be here to do it all again next week.
Great stuff. So all that leaves then is to hopefully see you guys next week for the Pinnacle tier. Thank you very much for watching, but we're going to bring this stream to an end so that you guys can watch the Prestige tier. I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I've been John Worth.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.